Good evening to you and welcome inside the West Quad Gymnasium on the campus of Brooklyn College. We thank you for joining us tonight for Brooklyn College women's basketball. Alongside Scott Green, I'm Chris Russo. The Bulldogs tonight in their home opener, coming off a 77-51 win at Sarah Lawrence on Friday. Tonight they take on the Yeshiva Maccabees. And Scott, what are your initial impressions of this team?
Well, knowing Brooklyn College for so long, and you know, this is a team that's won 5 of their last 5 conference championships and been to the last 5 NCAA tournaments. You know, Coach Megan Campbell has this team on all cylinders. In that opening game, 4 double-figure scorers, you know, led by Anna Kitch, and then you add in 2 9-point scorers. You can't get any more well-balanced than that. And I think the challenge today will be for Yeshiva is they haven't played a game yet. So they're coming out against a well-seasoned team here early in the season.
Yeshiva's last game was last year against St. Joe's Brooklyn. That was in February. They lost 5 in a row to close their year. A 61-59 finish to St. Joe's Brooklyn. They finished 4-21 last year. Ori Cohen is their head coach in his second season at the helm. Actually did play at Brooklyn and won the Kuniak title 5 years ago. Brooklyn team that is 1-0 and under Megan Campbell, her 3rd season at the helm. Yeshiva will be going right to left on your screen, and it will be Brooklyn going left to right. Getting underway here tonight, Brianna Jackson, Dior Dorsey, Anna Kitch, Victoria Kansan, and Shaylee Kazada, the Medgar Evers transfer, will be going tonight for Brooklyn. Off the tip, played into the front court. And Yeshiva on top immediately. Good press here from Brooklyn to start.
Well, Brooklyn's going to come at you. They're going to try to keep that tempo going early and often. And, you know, this is a team where if you're Yeshiva, you got to find a way to take some time off the clock and make this a slow game.
This one no good, rebounded by Dorsey. Dorsey, who actually got hit up high during warm-ups, thought she was reaching for, I don't know if it was for a contact or maybe she had been, or maybe just a cut, appears to be fine now. Playing on that near side wing. Major screen near the free throw line extended, and misplays that went over Kitch's head. Now into the near corner. Right wing, 5 seconds left on the shot clock, stepping inside Jackson, and Jackson may be hit, and she goes down. And they do stop the play with 1 second left on the shot clock. As the ball went into that near corner. On the far side, Jackson reaching for her forehead.
And I'll be curious to see when they blew the whistle, there was actually 3 seconds on that shot clock. I don't know if they're going to put the clock back up to 3 seconds.
Well, they still have one, and it looked like one of the officials was holding up one finger. So it looks like that's where they'll stay, and this might really hurt Brooklyn because now they are going to inbound. And it looked like there wasn't tough defense. It looked like they were going to get a shot off. Dorsey will inbound. And that one's deflected. It goes off Kitch out of bounds. Shot clock violation to start here for Brooklyn.
And that's a good first defensive possession for Yeshiva.
Adonalua Akinduyi, the freshman, is into the game to replace Jackson. And that one goes out of bounds off of Naomi Sigmund.
Yeah, Brooklyn's going to bring the pressure out the full court, and then when you get them into a half-court set, they're going to guard you nose to nose.
Starting lineup tonight for Yeshiva: Jasmine Malley-Denker, Simone Amkraut, Naomi Sigmund, Tali Cohen, and Fortune Hanan as Kitch steps back, free throw line extended, no good. Off the backboard on the near side. It'll be gathered by Amkraut. You mentioned that Yeshiva has not played this year. Also interesting, they have never played Brooklyn in their history. And of course, by that logic, Brooklyn has never played them. Drop here for Kitch. Stepping to the inside, it was deflected. And now it'll be gathered by Malley-Denker. Played here by Cohen. Yeshiva out of the Skyline Conference, lost 5 in a row to conclude last year. Stepping to her left is Cohen. Now inside the arc, that'll be knocked down by Amkraut. We've got our first basket of the game. Akinduyi able to drop a little hook shot. Getting bumped at the end there was Kazada on the rebound. There's a finish for Dorsey, and we're even at 2.
You know, and when you look at the last game for Brooklyn, their high percentage shots are in the paint. They had 38 points of their 77 that came from within the paint, and that's what they're going to look to try to do today.
Well, it is interesting when you know long reach from Dorsey. You mentioned it earlier. Dorsey, who had a very complete game at Sarah Lawrence, 7 points, 8 boards, and was all over the board. It is Kitch on the rebound. Jackson trying to put it inside. That goes off the right leg of Hanan, and we'll get a kickball. So now changes. They go to Aaliyah McCalla in her second game and her first here in Brooklyn.
Coach Campbell's not afraid to make substitutions. She played 13 players in that opener.
It is also interesting when you mention that this team has carried over. Shot no good from Kitch. This team's success, besides pre- and post-COVID, having those titles 5 in a row, that's also carried over between multiple coaches. Megan Campbell, after Alex Lang, she was an assistant for him for 2 years, and so it seemed like, in some ways, more of a seamless transition. Toward that near side, it is Mia Denti onto the floor now. Sigmund gets it across. Played again here. Shot no good. Shot clock went off, but it looked like that ball hit the rim, and Ori Cohen is arguing the same.
And that's a big call, too, because you look at a team that's predicated on a fast break style. That takes away the break and forces them to run a half-court set.
Yeshiva team getting adjusted to their surroundings here in their opener. Shot no good on the pull-up from Dorsey along the baseline. Now back out, right wing three from Danae McMullen. That shot no good. Kitch tried to hold, but she stepped on the end line out of bounds, and Yeshiva will take over. 4 points, 4 boards, and 2 steals already for Dorsey. In just 5 minutes and 19 seconds. Had 7 points, 8 boards, 6 assists, a block, and a steal in 30 minutes at Sarah Lawrence on Friday. Played back out. It goes off of Tali Cohen. Cohen will play it again. Cohen to the inside. Defended well by Kitch. And now it's carried back the other way by Jackson. 2-on-1. Sets up Dorsey on the back door. Shot no good. Rebound Kitch on the putback. That one won't go either. Jackson able to get the rebound. And that's really significant when a 5'6" guard can grab a board as well.
And that's a textbook fast break. You know, everything was great about it except the finish. But, you know, one thing about Kitch, you watch her, she is so fundamentally sound. And we could talk a little bit about her right now. You know, when she was down on that post, perfect three-quarter defense, taking away the post, getting the deflection, and allowing them to get out into the open floor.
Anna Kitch averaging 9 a game for her career, but she pulled up with 15 in that game against St. Lawrence. One thing you do notice, Brooklyn, it seems like missing a lot of shots at the rim, but it seems like they could also very well make up for it because it looks like they're dominating the glass as well.
Yeah, right now they are playing with a lot of control. I mean, they're missing some easy chippies around the basket. You know, I mean, Yeshiva, you got to credit them. I mean, they're not making it easy, you know, for Brooklyn. But, you know, this is a team, Brooklyn, that is a terrific free throw shooting team. In that first game, they were 16-20. You put a team to the line 20 times and they make 16 on a regular night, they're going to win a lot of games.
Shooting 80%, and again, we do talk about that height differential as well. Tallest player for Yeshiva has not been into the game so far. It's a freshman, Shira Hagag, who has not played yet. And then the 5'11" Fortune Hanan, the next tallest. But obviously, even the guards are rebounding very well for Brooklyn so far, as you see them set up near the 4 corners of the paint so far on this inbound with an 8-3 lead, 4:05 to go first quarter. This one deflected, but still can be played by McMullen. Back out to the left wing for Jackson. Jackson, who got hit up high early, had to leave for a moment, came back. Now she goes it to Dorsey. Jackson gets it again. Defended by Schwartz. Jackson gets a pick, rolls left, steps inside, puts it back out for Dorsey. 1 on the shot clock. She got it off. No good, but they're able to gather the rebound for a moment. Eventually pops out to Dorsey again. Now to the right wing. Here is McMullen. Pull-up jumper, and that one's good.
And we talk about these second chance opportunities that they've been doing so well with. If you keep giving them opportunities, they're not shooting a high percentage right now, but they are getting a lot of chances to put it in the hole.
10-3, Brooklyn in front. Rebounds now 13-4 in favor of the Bulldogs. Dorsey and Kitch each with 5 already tonight. As Sigmund has it on the baseline, double team, she's forced back out to the far corner. Plays it for Schwartz, trying to work it back out. It's deflected, and eventually played by Jackson. Jackson alone on the breakaway. She'll lay it in, and Brooklyn stretches the lead to 12-3.
And this is that 10-0 run I was talking about that they can go on just like that.
They play in spurts. Certainly called it. Jackson to the left wing, having to pull up for a moment is Leah McCullough. Jackson gets it inside. Ariel Williams turning, and that shot good off the backboard.
They're going to have to find a way to slow this game up because right now Brooklyn is playing on all cylinders.
3-on-1 ahead, and that one's laid in by McCullough. One timeout already called by Yeshiva, and that was probably before most of the damage done here in this first half. 16-3, the Bulldogs leading the Maccabees. As the latter just try to hold off this first quarter. Schwartz going into the corner, double team again. That one broken up. Ariel Williams on the take. Williams pushing. Williams steps inside, draws the foul as she got contact from Amkraut.
And they cut that court in half, and you go double team in the corner with a denial on the block. You better find a way to reverse the basketball.
And it also seems impressive that a player that big would be the one who's leading and running the floor at that point, has the confidence to run it as well. And yeah, that's what I thought. This is going to be underneath. I think Brooklyn thought that was going to be a shooting foul. Inbound into the far corner. This is at the line, no good. Trying to keep was Kansan. It's taken away. Maccabees pushing back toward the near corner. Baseline, pull up, deflected. Another shot, no good. Rebound from McMullen. But a takeaway by Sigmund. She steps inside, went between three Bulldogs and nearly finished. Jackson into the near corner. Kansan from three, that's good. Victoria Kansan from downtown, 19-3, Brooklyn in front.
And she could shoot that long ball, 2 for 4 in that opening game.
No good, no foul, as Williams was there on the defense. Now we'll see Kitch return. Kitch with 2 points, but 5 boards already tonight.
And this has been an amazing 17-0 run. This game was 3-2 at one point.
And Yeshiva being put in their place after that early start. Brooklyn feeling disrespected. A difficult ball into the paint. Now it'll be taken away by Cohen. Surfside Florida native running the floor. Forced off to that corner. That one looked like went off of Kitch at the very end, but a travel was called before that. Cohen pretty much broke her own ankles on that one after. Team's third already here in the first quarter.
And Brooklyn's taken off the full court pressure, and they're going with an active 2-3. This is like the Jim Boeheim, Syracuse 2-3 zone, active, hands in the passing lane, getting rotations.
To the point that it looked like Kansan, as part of that two, was going into jumping Jackson. Now Jackson pushing back, shot clock turned off. Kitch there on the finish. 21-3, and it's a 19-0 run for the Bulldogs. Directing traffic is Mally Danker, deflected and taken away by Kansan. On the play from Jackson, inside, pull up, no good. Quarter comes to an end, miraculously for Yeshiva, a 21-3 lead for Brooklyn after one period of play.
Well, a great quarter here for Brooklyn, and if they're going to play this type of a pace, it's going to be a long night for Yeshiva if they can't answer.
All right, we're going to head to a break. We'll be back in just a moment. Bulldogs in front of Yeshiva by a score of 21-3.
Just turn down the mic. Yeah.
Brooklyn in front. And now onto the floor. Is Cohen, as that breaks a 19-0 run to start. Yeshiva still very aggressive, and now a 2-on-1 pushing back. Diaz trying to recover. Great play by Kitch to break it up. Still loose, out of bounds. It goes off of the Bulldogs.
You know, here's an impressive stat. I mean, everyone always looks at rebounds and points, and, you know, what I look at is balance. And here's a team that was up 21-3 at the quarter, and nobody on this team had more than 5 points.
Unbelievable start. And, of course, Kitch, their leading scorer in the opener, had 2 points, but still had 5 boards, and this one will be tossed out of bounds. That play made there by Sigmund. 21-5, 9:18 to go here in the first half. Alongside Scott Green, I'm Chris Russo. Thanks for joining us. Brooklyn's home opener and Yeshiva's season opener here from West Quad Gymnasium on Brooklyn's campus here in the heart of Richmond County. That shot no good from Kitch, out of bounds. It goes off looks like Diaz, and Yeshiva will inbound. Rebounds 14-7 for Brooklyn in that first half. But it speaks to their versatility. That's a reason they've won 5 consecutive Kuniak titles, as they have a 2-on-1 here. Diaz down low, and on the finish, it is Kansan. 23-5 Brooklyn. But it speaks again to their versatility, that they have been so strong on the glass, as Kitch is called here for a foul. And yet they have worked offensively so much in transition. And
very unselfish. So many plays where they could try to force it up themselves and giving it up for a better shot.
That's what we noticed in warm-ups. They're a very unselfish team. Definitely Cohen, who's had the ball more than any other player for Yeshiva, but a giveaway here. An outlet. And again a break. But unable to finish was McCalla. And an offensive foul, or a foul off the ball against Brooklyn. It looks like that will go against Quezada. Quezada taking her second as they go back to Ariel Williams, who has been a breath of fresh air. The freshman who played only 4 minutes at Sarah Lawrence on Friday. Broken up here. Kansan again, and a foul as she gets a little bit of a forearm in the back from Sigmund.
That was a very smart play, too. When she felt that forearm to the back, the first thing a smart player with a good basketball IQ always does is throw it up to the rim.
So Kansan will step to the line. Already with 7 points tonight. She has more points than the entire Yeshiva team. Kansan, who we mentioned, averaged only 2.1 points a game last year. Still perfect from the line this season. 9 points on Friday and 8 points already tonight. Senior from Staten Island. In and out. And there goes the perfect free throw percentage as Kitch turns it over. Right up the near side, and a traveling violation just before it was Cohen running into a brick wall named Ariel Williams.
And Ariel Williams, once again, using that IQ, stepping up because she saw her out of control. And that wouldn't be a foul because she never gained that control or turned to face.
I think it would have been tough to call it a charge because I don't think Williams would have been able to fall. But that one does. 26-5, Brooklyn in front as Williams is on the board again. Again going into that trap, and it's deflected away. It was Williams with an excellent read. Coming out toward the free throw, or out toward mid-court, but it goes out of bounds. So it looks like Diaz and McCullough will depart. They go back to Jackson and Dorsey. Akinduyi getting a little more time again. Of course, she is playing with 2 fouls early, as is Kazada. Stepping inside, somehow finding space, but the shot no good. That one from Hanan. There's a push. Dorsey down on the baseline. Dorsey up and under, and that one's good on the feed from Brianna Jackson near midcourt.
And Coach Campbell making these household substitutions, kind of like a hockey line change. And, you know, when you do that, you keep your legs fresh, especially if you're going to play this kind of style.
Well, you mentioned 13 players in that game. That's Sarah Lawrence on Friday, their opener. And they are comfortable right now. That goes off the side of the backboard. That corner 3 attempt from Mally Danker. Near wing, here's an open 3, no good. Off the rim and out, Kitch had that one taken away, and that's where they can handle her. It's Hanan at 5'11". Chopping down was Dorsey, it looked like, on that possession by Cohen. And a foul behind the play. Both teams will turn to their bench. Looks like it'll be McMullen coming back, and it'll be Eliana Leitner into her first ever game, the sophomore out of Woodmere. We'll get her first action. 28-5 Brooklyn in front. And Jackson did not see that ball coming whatsoever off the inbound. Drop pass for Jackson, back out Akinduyi. She steps on the drive, back out just inside the arc, shot no good from Williams. Dorsey on the rebound, back out Jackson, and a traveling violation before she could step inside.
And I like the offensive set by Brooklyn. They run that LA cut with the 2 high posts, and they have the size to do it.
You could see Jackson actually trying to mimic and recreate her own actions after that travel was called, just to make sure she doesn't do it again. That's a perfect pass to the inside as Cohen sets up Hanan for the finish. Somehow lofted it over, I believe, Williams' fingertips. Not easy to do as Jackson from 3, no good. She got bumped at the end. Williams is there on the finish, high off the backboard, 30-7 Brooklyn. This one deflected away. Akinduyi, and now Dorsey. Perhaps with Akinduyi trailing. Dorsey against Schwartz. Lays it in off the backboard. 32-7 start for the Bulldogs.
You might as well turn the shot clock off every time Brooklyn gets the ball.
That's what it seems like. Jackson all alone. Nobody will foul her here. A 32-5 run for Brooklyn, and they're up 34-7. And a much-needed timeout called by Ori Cohen with 5:15 left in the second quarter. And this is a start of epic proportions for Brooklyn. 34-7 already. Out-rebounding Yeshiva still 21-9 here in this game.
And I remember early in my career, back in the late 80s, early 90s, when I was done my playing days. And I remember I took over a girls' varsity basketball program. It was 1992, and they haven't won a game in probably 82 straight games. And I remember we made a lot of progress that year, but we were also in a league with 2 of the top teams in our county. And we were in a lot of games like this where, you know, I remember the local papers would say, what do you say to the players, you know, when you are just being totally dominated? And this is really nothing a coach can say. This is where these are the kids you brought in. How tough, mentally tough do they want to be and try to make it as respectful as possible? You know, I mean, still 34-7. I've seen teams make big comebacks. But right now they just have to keep playing hard.
This is a Yeshiva team with 3 seniors. Only one seemingly has gotten a lot of time tonight, and that's Mally Danker. Akinduyi pulls up. That shot no good off the near side rim. Rebounded, coming to a halt for a moment, was Leitner. Now played here by Amkraut. Amkraut crossing over on Dorsey to the near wing. Stumbling was Akinduyi. Played back out. It is Sigmund again, or rather Cohen. And it looked like they went off her thigh, perhaps out of bounds. Good read by Brooklyn. Dorsey will inbound. 34-7 start for the Bulldogs. And I'm trying to do the math correctly. They might still be behind pace from their game against Sarah Lawrence on Friday. Finished with 77 that evening. Dorsey coming to step out, forcing her along the baseline. Goes out of bounds. That was deflected away by Williams.
And now's a great opportunity. Obviously, you keep your fast-paced game going. You look to try to work on some of your offensive sets. And, you want to win your 6th straight conference title. Last year was not very easy. You come in as a 3 seed, and then you have to go out and beat Baruch, and then you have to beat Hunter in the finals. Very tough task to do.
And yet they beat those 2 squads from Manhattan. Dorsey carries, goes across to the far side. It's Akinduyi from 3, and that one's good. 37-7 as Akinduyi gets her first points of the night. Had 10 off the bench in her NCAA debut up at Sarah Lawrence. That's her first bucket here in this gym. There's a long 3 from Cohen. That one no good. Rebound Akinduyi as Diaz is back onto the floor. Long outlet for Dorsey. She'll pull up and finish. 39-7. And now an 11-0 run for Brooklyn within the last 3 minutes.
Well, it's kind of what they did in the first quarter when they went on that 19-0 run to close out the quarter.
It seems like Yeshiva cannot get out of the corner either. This one played down low for Hanan, too high and out of bounds. We'll see mass changes here for Brooklyn. It looks like Cheyenne Castellano will come in with Kitch and Kizada.
You look at a team like Brooklyn, in most cases when you bring those household substitutions, you're bringing players in, that may not be the power of the starters. You really have like 10 starters on this Brooklyn team.
Depth is absolutely the name of the game so far, as Akinduyi takes another one, no good. Rebounded on this side by Amkraut. Castellano, a senior, but only played 1 game. As it looked like Diaz batted that one out of bounds, so Yeshiva will have it again. Played 1 minute at Sarah Lawrence on Friday, but did finish with 3 points on the evening.
That's a pretty good point per minute average.
Yeah. If she could play at 60 points a game, I think they're in pretty good shape.
Yeah, without a doubt.
That math doesn't even work. 120 points a game. That makes no sense. As this shot from the near side, she's working at a similar pace. Castellano from downtown, 5th, 6th points of the season, 42-7. Brooklyn all over Yeshiva. Here is Sigmund. Free throw line extended. Picks up her dribble, looking for somebody. She traveled beforehand. Mally Danker will return. Senior from Los Angeles, averaging 7 points a game for her career. Diaz running the floor near the double L in Brooklyn College. Free throw line extended. Kitch Kitch looking to drop it off. It was a mishandle. Akinduyi still able to step inside, and that one's good.
That's terrific offensive set. They make it look so easy.
This looking like a very lopsided score that we'd see out on Gridiron on Sunday. Onto the floor, Danielle Zaretsky. Sophomore forward from Boca Raton, as getting nailed while floating in the lane was Leitner. Missed her shot, no good. Diaz to the near side, good tic-tac-toe passing inside, and it's Quezada on the finish as we're under a minute left in the half.
When your bigs can run block to block and lead the break, you know you're in great shape. And that's just a credit to Coach Campbell of the discipline that she's taught her players.
Quezada, who finished a point and a rebound shy of a double-double in 25 minutes on Friday. And that, considering we have not seen that much of her tonight, that should probably, again, scream the amount of depth this team really has. 46-7 there in front with 38.9 seconds left in the half. Here's Kitch, possibly being grabbed. Going against Lauren Ashkenazi. Kitch from downtown, a lot of time left on the shot clock. Air ball, thought it maybe was deflected, apparently not the case. And they had not reset the shot clock before the inbound. The shot clock should be turned off. There probably should be another second. And it looks like Yeshiva will just deal with it. Down 46-7. And they do not run out the clock. That's interesting. They let Brooklyn get another possession. Here is Diaz. Diaz into the corner. Shot got off. Castellano. No good. And that would have been an extreme amount of icing on a massive cake for Brooklyn in the first half.
Well, you look at the first half, your Brooklyn total dominance. You know, what we kind of anticipated coming in prior to the broadcast, and just well-balanced scoring, good fundamental play, and, you know, hey, if you're Yeshiva, they never gave up in that first half, just got a little more overpowered.
We don't have the numbers on fast break points. It seemed like probably, at the very least, a quarter of the buckets came for Brooklyn in that first half. We were hoping to have an interview with one of the assistant coaches for Brooklyn in a moment. A 46-7 flourish in the first half. I don't think we possibly could have seen something this lopsided coming. 10 points from Dorsey. I mean, for goodness sakes, you have two players alone who had more points than Brooklyn in the first half. What do you think was your biggest takeaway from that entire 20-minute stretch?
Total dominance. I mean, you could take your pick. You know, great shot selection, excellent fast break execution, defense, tremendous. I mean, anytime you give up 7 points in a first half, that may be the lowest point total I've seen in a very long time. But this was just a terrific defensive first half for Brooklyn.
I mean, 7 points. I don't remember the last time I've seen 7 points allowed in a half. I mean, probably at the middle school level. I certainly at the college level.
You know, and we go back to looking at, you know, the total points. You have one player in double figures in Dear Dorsey, you know, with 10 points. I mean, and you're held, one of your top players, Anna Kitch, to 4 points in the first half. Just a tremendous job. You know, you look at other scorers, Victoria Canson, 8 points. You know, but you look at the rebounds, Anna Kitch had 10. I mean, you look at 24 to 15 on the rebounding end and 13 to 3 on the offensive rebounding end. So that's just a very big number. But 28 turnovers is a big number.
Okay, it looks like in just a moment we are going to have Rocco Salido coming up with us. While we got the time, actually, just got a couple of things to mention. First off, a couple of folks who have sponsored the broadcast. Thanks to Ovie's Place, located at 2925 Avenue H, a proud sponsor of Brooklyn College Athletics. Wide-ranging menu, including salads, wraps, burritos, breakfast omelets, sandwiches, tacos, family meals, and build-your-own smoothies. Ovie's Place is something for everyone, open from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Come check out Ovie's Place right off campus on Avenue H and visit our website at oviesplaceny.com, and go Bulldogs. Also, make Applebee's at 2201 Nostrand Avenue in Brooklyn, your neighborhood bar and grill. Whether you're looking for affordable lunch specials with coworkers or in the mood for a delicious dinner with family and friends, Applebee's offers dining options you will love. Looking for that happy hour vibe? Enjoy food and drink specials anytime with our selection of appetizers, beers, and cocktails. Call ahead at 347-505-3300 to see what's on tap today. In a hurry, place your takeout order using our to-go service and pick up your food without ever leaving your car. And fine folks at Brooklyn United Soccer Academy, a proud sponsor of Brooklyn College Athletics, was founded out of desire to build a youth soccer academy for the borough of Brooklyn that is on par with the top club academies around the world. Through the process of building the academy, we are striving to redefine what a youth soccer academy in the United States is and how one operates. To learn more about Brooklyn United Soccer Academy youth soccer programs, leagues, and training, visit their website at brooklynunitedacademy.com. I am tempted to go to Ovie's Place and or Applebee's. I might make a run at both, honestly, by the time we get out of here. I left at probably about 1:45 today, and I'm probably not gonna get home till about 10. So I might as well stay in the borough at that. One thing I really just noticed, did you notice Breonna Jackson had 6 steals in that first half?
Yeah, I mean, just terrific defense. And, you look at the total denial down on the block and the trap and the pressure, and very relentless.
I mean, how many players can you probably say have never had a 6-steal game in their life? She is the team leader in steals on the season. She actually had 5 on Friday against Sarah Lawrence. Outstanding. She has as many steals as Yeshiva has in total in this game. I think that would probably also say that Yeshiva, to their credit, has actually cleaned up a little bit. I mean, look, 46 points is a lot, but that's the one real upside is they've forced a good amount of turnovers in this first half, even if they have certainly committed a lot more than on that opposite end. Another thing you really note, Anna Kitch, 10 boards, team leading 14 minutes. She's committed 5 turnovers. The rest of the team has combined for 3, or rather 4 here in this first half.
And I'll tell you, in a game like this, the people you got to credit to are the officials. The officials are doing a great job. Only 5 fouls on each team. That's keeping the game going and leaving the chippy stuff behind, calling when they see it. But, just a super job by our officials so far.
Well, you have to think that's also an officiating crew that realizes, hey, it's not often you get a doubleheader. And not just that, this is the rare doubleheader where it could be the fact that it's non-conference, but you have 2 different schools that are playing tonight here in Brooklyn. You've got Yeshiva. You're going to stick with us after this as Brooklyn takes on New Paltz. And at the men's level, that's going to be a really fun game to watch. New Paltz has been one of the better programs coming out of the SUNYAC in the last couple of years in particular. But it's an officiating crew that understands. I mean, truthfully, you think they'd probably understand it even if this was a solo act, if this was the only game tonight. But, 46-7, you've seen teams come back from very large deficits so far, but it is in some ways, a lot of people would argue, a formality. And so just to keep it even seems like a pretty impressive thing.
No question about it. And, you when you stay, like we talked about earlier, what do you say? And Ori Cohn at this point has to say, hey, let's put some focus here. Let's play the quarter. Let's see if we could win the quarter. Let's try to make the quarter close. And that's pretty much how you have to play it at this point.
It seems like Cohen is probably, I feel like Cohen has far and away had the ball more than anyone else on the floor for Yeshiva. She's got 2 points, 3 steals. I'll give her that one. She has half their steals already, 2 assists, 2 boards, has committed a pair of fouls. She's also turned the ball over 8 times. And then when you look and you see, we talk about the length of Brooklyn. It seems like Dorsey, most notably, it does a really good job of running the floor. And you have someone like Cohen, and it can't help to have someone holding the ball that much at 5'4". That seems like a very difficult thing to have at any level of collegiate basketball.
You got to look at the positive. Yeshiva had a 3-2 lead.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, they got off a good start, and I really thought the first few minutes they played very well. But the defense of Brooklyn was just too strong.
Brooklyn forced 28 turnovers in that first half. So impressive. They shot 40% from down to. Here's another pretty telling stat, and we talk about, and we mentioned it with Kitch earlier, that the team that can play in any era, it's a team that in the first quarter had 21 points. They only had 1 3-pointer. And for the half, they only had 3. So it's obviously they play well at the rim. They play well just inside the arc. They are just it shows you again why they've been the best team in the Kuniak for 5 consecutive years. They are a complete team.
Without a doubt.
It's a really strong start for them. Is that right? 19 steals officially for this team in the first half. Just a very, very pretty start for them. 46-7. So you look on the board, Yeshiva is back on the court. And they are warming. We are still scheduled to have Rocco Solito. Not sure when that will be taking place. We were supposed to have him here at halftime. But let's reset and let's remind you where we are from Brooklyn, New York, from West Quad Gymnasium on Brooklyn College's campus. 46-7 lead for the Brooklyn Bulldogs over Yeshiva.
Yep.
All right, we do ultimately have Coach Rocco Solito up here with us, and just trying to figure out the seating arrangement at the moment. Yeah, I think. Thank you, Scott, for sliding over. Coach, what can you possibly say about that first half that is not already set on the scoreboard?
Not much, basically. So, early in the season, basically trying to work on stuff. Game like this, you want to run through a lot of our sets, get our defensive intensity up, try not to make mistakes, and also try not to get sloppy in a game like this.
And I think you have to really be really happy with, obviously, the defense. You're getting your offense. You're allowing your defense to create offense for you. You're able to get out on the breaks. I love how your bigs run block to block, and they beat the break up the floor. They put themselves in a great spot to get great high percentage shots. But talk a little bit about the defense tenacity that they just have on every possession.
Yeah, I mean that's been our trademark. I mean that was what won us the championship last year was our defense. Again, in a game like this, you can take a lot of chances. We're kind of trying to keep that under control a little bit, where you're not taking chances that in another game might be dangerous. So that's been what we kind of been trying to manage right now. Is, be aggressive, but not do things that typically you would not do and get you in trouble, against another team.
And I think one of the luxuries that you have is you're able to play any combination. You go very deep. I mean, I alluded to the fact you really have 10, 11 starters on this team, in any different situation. How much of a luxury is that?
Yeah, no, that's great. Our new players, it's still early in the season, but you can see with a lot of them, Ariel gets out there. Bree, our point guard, although she's played, before, she's a junior college player. They fit right in, and then we could get people off the bench. And, Aaliyah came in, played well. Danae. And then, of course, Adam freshman also comes in comfortable, just loves playing ball. So you love having plays like that. You put them on the court, and they just love being on the court and playing the game.
And what was Coach Campbell's message at halftime to eliminate any chance of getting complacent and preparing for the games down the road?
Yeah, I mean, we wanted to keep the intensity up with not doing foolish things, basically, you know. And then we want to run through our sets. We didn't run them perfectly, you know. We kind of were a little out of it at times. We want to tighten that up a little bit and clean that up.
Coach, I think we're going to have to let you go, but we really appreciate your time. Sorry to squeeze in on you there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you very much, Coach Rocco Solito, for giving us his time, and now we're going to figure everything out. I think Scott's tied up in our headsets at the moment. And you know what? I've done that before, where you get the button over you get the button over the headset cord. Thank you to our crew for getting everybody together and getting Rocco up here near the end of the first half, or near the end of the halftime rather. 46-7. And we appreciate his time. And yeah, you definitely mentioned. Had we had more time, I probably would have asked about the really good job they've done of forcing players into corners so far. They've done a phenomenal job of backing down some of these smaller guards on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, this team. This is a Brooklyn team that may be, now, go on the limb and say, is this the best team in the last 6 years? But this may be one of the better defensive teams. I mean, I watched one team play. You go back a couple of years ago, they had a player by the name of Gianna Gotti. And, I mean, just a pure natural scorer, facilitator, and leader of a ball club. Here, there's so much around these players that they're able to help one another. And, it's just so far a great first half to get things going this year.
The only two teams so far this year, and we're not sure as to how updated this is, but the only two teams so far this year in the Kuniak who are unbeaten in non-conference play are Brooklyn and Hunter. Hunter 2-0 at last check. Taking a look at the upcoming schedule, and Brooklyn will be on the road at Manhattanville. That will be Friday night at 7. They'll be back here for Keene on the 18th, and they will eventually close out the month against Colby. They'll have a 5-game homestand at the end of November and in the beginning of December. As we're back here for the second half, Maccabees moving right to left on your screen. Black jerseys, blue and white trim. Brooklyn right to left. White jerseys, red and gold trim alongside Scott Green. I'm Chris Russo. A 46-7 edge for the Bulldogs as they have the takeaway. Brianna Jackson with the ball, feeding Dorsey at the top of the key. Now on the left wing, Kansan had her shot blocked. That's the first block of the game, or rather that is the second for Yeshiva. Their first in the second half as Jackson hits a floater in the lane and makes it 48-7 Bulldogs.
Yeah, I think when you start going back to what you were talking about with the schedule, when you circle a couple of games, and when you look at the games like the Baruch game and the John Jay game and the Lehman game, I mean, this is a very tough conference, and you can't just show up on any given night.
Into the corner, that ball was deflected, sent back out to the free throw line. Hanan did not get much on that shot. Kitch on the rebound, long outlet from Dorsey, and breaking away and leading it in, and the foul is Shaylee Quezada. And now Brooklyn is at the half-century mark. Quezada to the line for the and one. She's got 4 already tonight. In and out. And the rebound here from Sigmund. Sigmund pushing quickly. Sigmund from the arc went into the air. Now sent it off to the near side. Can be played by Amkraut. Amkraut, nice pass down low. Rejected. And that's Quezada. It's played again by Schwartz. 14 on the shot clock. To the near side. Sigmund gets in. Little floater, no good. Rebound Quezada.
It's a tough move by Sigmund. Got into the paint.
Jackson was fouled on the pass. trying to set up Kitch, and so that's the first. They're setting up to go to the line. I was going to say this ball is going to be inbounded. This was not a shooting foul. Dorsey is way back by the wall to inbound. She is giving herself a little space as she threw it to Kitch. Now Dorsey back out Jackson again. Now you mentioned Sigmund. They've got a couple of decent ball handlers. It's the consistency that's been an issue, and another foul on the floor against Yeshiva.
And, Jackson's so quick with the basketball that they have no choice but to foul her. I mean, that was 2 points for her there. She gave up an assist off the foul in the previous possession.
And a nice pass off the inbound for Dorsey. She couldn't quite handle it. Dorsey goes backdoor for Quezada. No good. It's loose on the floor. Quezada able to gather it again and somehow avoid traveling. Kansan with a little shot. No good. Rebound played here by Hanan. Now on to the near side. Amkraut going cross court. Far wing. It's Sigmund going between the legs. Sigmund trying to get it inside. Does. Low block. It was Hanan. Lost her footing. Wiped out. Could still be played by Amkraut on the far wing. It is Hanan with a shot, and she'll finish. So 50-9, the first points out of the half for Yeshiva. That breaks a 22-0 run, and a travel called here against Brooklyn's number 24, Victoria Kansan, with 8 points on the evening. What a weight off the shoulders that has to be for Yeshiva to break the 22-0 drought. Schwartz playing it to the near side, now to the low block. It is Sigmund to her left, one dribble, and able to feed Amkraut. Amkraut against Dorsey, looking for a screen to the left. Good read by Hanan, she rolls. Hanan able to get it to go, no good. Rebound, can't finish that one either. Hanan looking a lot better down low here in this second half, but Quezada will finish in transition from Jackson.
And Quezada, the way she runs rim to rim is what creates her shots look so easy.
Shaylee Quezada with 6 points on the night. Jackson now with 5 assists and 6 steals as Amkraut gets inside, but she was fouled. Looked like getting her around the arm was Kansan. Pulled down a little bit on that right bicep. So she'll go to the line. 52-9 game. See reinforcements for Brooklyn. Aaliyah McCullough will come back in, as will Akinduyi. Amkraut last year shot 71.4% from the line. Knocks down her first shot. Hits them both. So if Yeshiva can get to the line, that's the person you want. Seems like so far. 52-11, they're into double figures. At the edge of the paint, no good. Shot with the right hand. A layup attempt from McCullough. Pushing the other way, Amkraut. Sending it back outside, Sigmund far wing. Sigmund pulls up, no good, front rim. Sigmund able to get the board going between 3 defenders and a travel. That seemed almost a little unnecessary, her driving into that traffic. At least off the rebound, as Quezada is hobbling a little bit. Kitch will inbound, we'll see some changes. Back onto the floor, Ariel Williams and Tali Cohen. Williams with a particularly large cheering section just in front of us. This crowd of 147 as reported. Out of bounds, and it will be Yeshiva ball. Once again, stick with us after this game for the men's game against New Paltz. Schwartz Had that one taken away. Long outlet from Jackson. 2 steps and a finish from McCullough.
And that was just a terrific pass. And, you know, you're advancing the basketball on every possession.
McCullough, 4 points on the night, 54-11, as Schwartz takes what would have been a 2, no good. Kitch the rebound. Kitch, 12 boards, outlet. Williams, double teamed, just inside the free throw line, and she is fouled. That will be Hanan. That'll be her third. And so let's see, we're going to see Audrey Waldvogel for the first time tonight. Williams goes to the line. Williams, 6 points on the night. First free throw is good. Ariel Williams, a Brooklyn native out of Abraham Lincoln High School. Shot no good. Schwartz ahead. And she heard footsteps. That was McCullough approaching behind her. Here's Amkraut with a jumper near block. No good. Rather low block. And that one goes out of bounds. It is off of Williams. She was entangled with Danielle Zaretsky. Seems like a little bit of a slower pace here in the third quarter.
And that's what Yeshiva's trying to do. They want to maintain, use some clock, try to execute. You know, there's not going to be many teams that are going to defend like this.
A little easier on Yeshiva in this quarter. A 9-4 start for Brooklyn as that shot from Schwartz is no good. Waldvogel getting inside, going baseline, sent back out by McMullen. Williams to McMullen again. McMullen steps inside, no good. And the rebound by Mia Denti, the senior from Queens. Amkraut pushing. That 2-3 zone from Brooklyn. Here is Cohen. Picks up her dribble, hands off for Schwartz. Schwartz down low, and she was looking for a cut there, but did not get it from Denti. Trying to go east-west on the baseline. Akinduyi inbounding as Brooklyn has 5 times what Yeshiva has. As we go for that little algebra lesson. Free throw line extended. Played here by McMullen. Back out Akinduyi for 3. No good. This one deflected out of bounds off the rebound. It was Denti, and never a dull moment as McCullough was there. Brooklyn never taking their eyes off the ball. 4 minutes left here in this third quarter. Schwartz. Jump ball. And it will be McMullen. First jump ball on the evening, possession arrow favoring Brooklyn. Dark outside, 6:03 here on the East Coast. Here in the heart of Brooklyn, first game of our doubleheader. McMullen, outside left wing, plays it ahead for Williams, still loose on the floor, somehow gets it off, no good. Nearly scored as she tumbled to the floor. It can be played back again. Schwartz could be a 3-on-1. Williams falls again. Schwartz for Amkraut, rejected, but a foul. That was McMullen on the block as Williams appears to be up and fine behind the play.
And that was just great transition basketball on both sides. Yeshiva executing the break. And I'll tell you, if you don't look at the score, they're a team that's not giving up. They're playing hard on every possession. But you do got to credit Brooklyn getting back in defensive transition.
Amkraut hits her first. So Amkraut now 3 of 3 from the line. She has taken 3 of the 5 attempts on the evening. Sigmund the other 2. Amkraut misses the second. This one goes out of bounds. It's off of Zaretsky. We're going to turn back to Mally Denker. Akinduyi pushing. Akinduyi, who committed a couple of fouls early, but has been very strong tonight. The freshman, 5 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and a pair of steals as well. Akinduyi steps inside, though, and appropriately, as I say that, she coughs up the ball. 2 on 4. Cohen gets a return feed, now plays it down low, and that 2-woman game shot no good, coming from Denty on the baseline. 4 on 3 back the other way. Akinduyi with the right, no good. Rebound off of Williams' hand, and now Schwartz able to get it ahead up the near side for Mally Denk.
Both teams now struggling to try to put the ball in the basket.
And
there goes Yeshiva.
We got to keep talking about that. And a timeout taken by Yeshiva, I believe, 55-14. Stand corrected, timeout Brooklyn, 2:43 to go here in the third quarter. That is the first one, I believe, that Brooklyn has taken all game. 55-14. They are in front. And what are your observations, Scott, so far this third quarter?
I know we've spoken the whole broadcast about Brooklyn and what they've done, and obviously the score indicates that, but we talk a little bit about Yeshiva in how hard they're playing right now and trying to put as many points on the board. And when you talk about their coach Ori Cohen, he still hasn't sat down. He still coaches his team, and that's a great sign. And games like this help you win games later on in the season.
Yeshiva, a team that had a difficult last year, 4-21 in his first campaign, but you could only hope and expect improved results over this second season. Again, this is night 1 for them. We do have to remember that. You mentioned that coming in, that Yeshiva is on a little bit of a curve, having not played this year. Brooklyn came out and trounced Sarah Lawrence on the road on Friday, 77-51. And they are en route to another trampling this evening. Pushing on the baseline, McMullen, able to change her angle but can't get the shot. McMullen eventually taps the rebound. Back out for Waldvogel. Waldvogel right wing. Shot clock down to 10. Waldvogel picks up her dribble. Now free throw line extended. Shot from Quezada, no good. McMullen the rebound. Can't finish but draws the foul. And it looks like that'll be Denty. That'll be Denty's first of the evening. Did not play. Well, last played against St. Joe's Brooklyn. That's her first foul on the year, so congratulations to her. Shot no good off the back rim coming from McMullen. Maybe the only complaint you can have about Brooklyn tonight, shooting 4 of 8 from the line. Make it 5 of 9.
And that's the sportscaster's jinx. When I mentioned they were 16-20 in their opener.
Yeah, I think we've had a couple tonight, but in a 42-point game, I don't know how much of a swing we've really had. Schwartz left. Here's a 3, and that one good from Cohen. That is the first 3-pointer made tonight by Yeshiva. That shouldn't necessarily be an indicator of success anyway. Brooklyn has only hit 3. This shot no good, but a foul as Denty will go to the line. Okay, Diaz back onto the floor. Sandra Diaz, who has played 6 minutes tonight, almost seems like she's played longer. We've mentioned the depth of this team all night. Diaz, a senior from the Bronx out of Community Health Academy. Shot no good off the back rim by Denty. Denti, who only played 4 games last year, did not take a free throw. Didn't show that time. 56-18. Long outlet, Quezada had to go off her hand. She stepped out, looking to keep it in.
And Yeshiva's doing a much better job getting back on defense and taking away the break of Brooklyn.
Done a little more to pressure them in transition. In some ways, letting Brooklyn make their mistakes. There have been very few tonight. Good defense from McMullen. Back out right wing. Schwartz takes a 3. Shot no good, near side rim. Put back Denti, no good. And McMullen is able to wrestle it away from Zaretsky.
It just showed how strong she is.
Diaz on the far wing. McMullen to the left side. It'll be Waldvogel. Waldvogel for Diaz. Open as the ball never touched the floor. Shot no good. McMullen the rebound. McMullen finds Quezada. No good. Second chance, and that one is. 58-18, under a minute left. .30-second timeout here from the Yeshiva. Nobody has played more than 18 minutes out of the 29 or now 30 for Brooklyn tonight. Meanwhile, you have 5 players running 20 minutes or more, rather 4 players running 20 minutes or more for Yeshiva. Not only does it seem like the depth of talent, it just seems like the depth in terms of the war of attrition in trying to play this game tonight.
Yeah, I mean, that attributes to, to looking at why Coach Cohen is taking these little timeouts. He wants to give his players a little rest, and keep coming out and seeing what they could do. I mean, it's not easy to play. It's opening day. The bodies aren't still in condition yet for really either team. You wouldn't think that on Brooklyn. But, you got to be in basketball conditioning.
Yeshiva, again, 4-21. Last year, Cohen in just his second season. Team from the Skyline Conference. Their next game actually is a scrimmage, at least according to their records. They'll play at Berkeley on Monday. That is considered a scrimmage. And they will open at home. Corner 3, no good. They'll open at home next Wednesday against Mount St. Mary College. Very interesting setup for them. They play at Baruch and they play at NYU. Shot no good. Deflected out of bounds. They play at the Paulson Center at NYU for their home games. And then they also play at the Arc Arena at Baruch. Those are their 2 home courts. It is a very odd setup. But you would think it would also lend more to their ability to travel. Shot clock, rather the end of the quarter. And it snuck up on Yeshiva as much as it snuck up on us. 58-18 Brooklyn here at the end of the third quarter. And we will take a break and return in just a moment here for Brooklyn College's basketball coverage. back here for the fourth quarter as Brooklyn College looks to close it out here in women's basketball. 58-18 lead over Yeshiva in their home opener. Yeshiva in their season opener. Alongside Scott Green, I'm Chris Russo. An outstanding performance for the five-time defending Kuniak champions. Looking to tune up before season play. This will open up the conference schedule in just a few weeks. Schwartz with the ball on the near side. It is Cohen playing and getting a return feed from Denty. Cohen a corner three, no good, but that goes off of Kitch and out of bounds. Dorsey, their leading scorer tonight, but she's only played 16 minutes. And we have not seen a ton of her in the second half. She's back on the floor with Kitch, though, and that shot is good. Kitch now with 6. Schwartz going to her left. It is Cohen on the drive, has to pick up her dribble. That one may have been deflected. It's played by Mally Dank. Going against Dorsey, turning to her left-hand dribble. Shot no good off the far side rim, but a foul called here against Dorsey. That will be her first. Mally Dank to the line. That shot is good. Very interesting that scoring-wise, Kitch has regressed a little bit after a 15-point game against Sarah Lawrence, but she has been so phenomenal on the boards tonight. 13 for her, leading the team. Nobody else has more than 6, and Kitch is there, just can't finish. On the rebound, tied up, is Kansan. This shot is good. Dorsey able to knock that one down. A 62-19 lead for Brooklyn.
And now they're bringing up their 2-3 zone, and they're going to play a little tougher now. And, you know, they're not going for the steals. They're trying to get a deflection. They're playing a contain.
Kicked ball there by Jackson. 43-point lead for Brooklyn with 8:35 to play. As Schwartz lays it to the far side, gets a return, top of the key. Schwartz double teamed. You do see that 2-3 as Kansan and Jackson come out on her. Now played toward the near wing, stepping inside and laying it in is Naomi Sigmund. 62-21 as Dorsey has space down low. Quezada, she'll finish again, and Shaylee Quezada is now up to double figures. Second player for Brooklyn tonight. Yeshiva as a team with 21, Quezada with 10. Here's a left wing three from Sigmund, and she knocks it down. Naomi Sigmund opening up a bit. She's now got 6 on the evening as Quezada can finish again from Dorsey.
Quezada's going to have some huge games this year. You know, the way she gets up and down the floor and puts herself in great position.
And a timeout taken by Yeshiva. 66-24. Quezada, the Brooklyn native who in her team debut had 9 points, 9 boards, and 2 steals in 25 minutes on Friday. It has been an absolute slaughter so far tonight from Brooklyn. And you said it, it's true. Yeshiva had a 3-2 lead in this game, which, considering what we have seen in the last 32 minutes or so, seems unfathomable. And the only way that probably could have happened would have been at 3-2.
Well, you know, you got to give a shout out to Brooklyn College Athletic Director Eric Smiles, and a lot of people don't realize what a great coach he was. He'd go back to his LIU CW Post days. I used to cover all the conference championships for LIU Post, and what a talented coach he was, and won a lot of games there on Long Island. SUNY Farmingdale. Now he's doing great things as the athletic director here at Brooklyn.
All over the island, and now here into, well, this is technically part of Long Island, as Billy Joel once said at Shea Stadium. We are technically on Long Island right now. Ball on the far wing. Inside, an awkward pass for Sigmund. Shot from the free throw line, no good. Rebound does go off a Bulldog. Looked like Akinduyi, so Yeshiva will inbound. Free throw line, it's Zaretsky, and she gets a floater to go. No jump on that at all, 66-26. And for Zaretsky, that is her first NCAA bucket. Or at least her first with Yeshiva, not listed as having played anywhere else. Kitch able to finish. That's a difficult angle off that backboard.
Tough move.
Able to spin to her right and finish. Kitch now with 6. Make that 8 rather. 3 assists, 13 rebounds. Allie Dank driving right into the corner. Here's a 3, no good. A little short from Leitner. Kitch, Akinduyi, Jackson, far side 3, no good, back rim. Kitch fighting for it. Quezada was there, and they're going to call her for being over the back. And that's 4 fouls on Quezada. So Megan Campbell will make the move. She will go with Williams, who has played well. 7 points, 3 boards, 2 steals in just 12 minutes. And she has played very well in transition. Again with that 2-3, it seems like the staple for Brooklyn is jumping jacks for the 2, but it is Kitch on the intercept, and they'll play back here. Akinduyi running, good read. Zaretsky trying to push past Williams. Williams with a little bit of speed, and she prevents a basket, but she forces a foul.
And, these are what we call teachable moments. You look back, you're going to look at the film, and this is where you have to teach her. If you're behind the play and you're not going to get a good, clean block, there's not many blocks you can make from behind, but with the body, you're always going to get called for it.
Zaretsky out of Boca Raton misses that first shot. Front rim, back rim out. Yeshiva now 6 of 11 from the line tonight. Amkrad, the leader in multiple categories, going 3 of 4. His second shot pinballs its way in at 68-27. Hannah Rashke will come onto the floor for the first time tonight. Did not play in the finale against St. Joe's Brooklyn last year. Her last game was February 19th at Purchase. She logged under a minute, but did play 13 games last year, the senior from West Bloomfield, Michigan. Turnaround shot, and that one good, and now into double figures is Kitch. Kitch, whose career high was set on Friday, 15 points, or rather the rebounding high was set with 19. This one banked off of Akinduyi out of bounds. So we will see McMullen back onto the floor. She will substitute for Kitch, and I would imagine that will be the last we will see of Kitch on the floor tonight.
Played a nice, steady game. Double-double.
Double-double in just 23 minutes. 10 points, 14 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal. And she finishes in double figures for the second consecutive game to start the year. Long outlet into the corner. Here's a three. That one's good. Jessica Herft onto the floor for the first time. The Australian native with her first NCAA bucket. And it's a corner three.
Boy, and the crowd erupted on that one, too. That's always exciting.
The lone Bulldog from outside North America, hailing from Melbourne. And that's one of the highlights, and now she pulls up. She'll have to send it back out to the free throw line. Jackson, out right wing three from Akinduyi, no good. Diaz the rebound, floater is good. And she draws the foul.
Yeah, they'll tell you, the Brooklyn girls, they get a great turnout at their games. They also get a nice following to some of their other games that are local.
And being in the Kuniak, you got a lot of local games. And a special thanks again to those tuning in tonight. Diaz hits the M1.
And when you've been to 5 straight NCAA tournaments, I mean, you classify your school as a big Division III program.
It is certainly a dynasty within this conference. And looking to make waves at an even higher level. Left wing, Amkraut driving toward the baseline. Double team for a moment in that zone. Sends it back out Sigmund. Amkraut again. Fakes the three. Steps on the drive. Baseline jumper. No good. Rebound taken by Cheyenne Castellano. Now it is Herft again, and she draws a foul. Herft, a 5'4" freshman guard. Went to high school at Gilbretta College, again, named differently down under. Castellano dribbles to her left, pull up, no good, rather that is good. Looked like it was going to hit the front rim and go out. It gets the roll, and Brooklyn now with a 78-27 lead. And a bad giveaway, and Mally Dank just throws her hands up in frustration as Herft is there on the finish on the other end.
Boy, a career in one night.
Herft with 5 points on the evening. As it's Amkraut trying to split the double team, sent back out for Rashti, that's good. Rashti gets her first points of the year. Here's Castellano on the right wing. Herft again, near side. Dribble drive, or rather lack thereof, on the former, and a travel. That will be called against McMullen. Rashti will go off, as will Mally Dank. It seemed like there was considerable frustration from her on that giveaway, leading to the bucket at the other end by Herft. It seems like that's the only time tonight we've seen any real visible frustration on the floor from Yeshiva, as they get a bucket there from Denty. Castellano steps on the drive, kicks it back out. Herft, a right wing three, no good. Castellano again. Double team. Had that one wrestled away. Good play made by Leitner, out of the near wing, and that one given away. Brooklyn pushing again. Herft on a partial break, no good. And again, this crowd would have erupted. To the near wing, faking and going on the drive is Sigmund. Playing it again loose on the floor in the paint, and a jump ball. Possession arrow favoring the Bulldogs. 2:02 away from going to 2-0 on the year. And now they will go even crazier as Paige Smith makes her debut for the Bulldogs.
Everyone getting the action tonight.
5'4" sophomore. Queens native from Business Technology Early College. having to pick this one up is Sagna, and a giveaway. Here's Sigmund pushing the other way, shot no good. Mention her as well, Fatou Sagna onto the floor, a freshman from Brooklyn who made her debut on Friday.
And Brooklyn goes on next week to play a really tough Manhattanville team. Really good talent over there. That's another program that's making a lot of noise up in Purchase, New York.
Yeah, we mentioned that's going to be Friday night. And so it's going to be a pretty quick turnaround, rather, for the Bulldogs after a 5-day layoff following the game in Bronxville against Sarah Lawrence. Shot here from Sigmund, no good. And it is quite a lack of travel for some time for the Brooklyn College Bulldogs. Every game, whether home or away, will be in New York City. That is until after the holidays. Well, it depends on whether you count New Year's as part of that. Their first game, or rather their next game, Bronxville, of course, being outside the city technically, their next game outside of New York City will be December 29th at Moravian for the Steel Club Classic. They'll play 2 games in Bethlehem, PA. Herft stepping inside, nearly split everybody and got the finish with 1:18 left. And besides that, their only other game outside New York City this year, excluding that Sarah Lawrence game, will be January 26th, another non-conference game, of course. It'll be in Jersey City against New Jersey City University. (80-32), Brooklyn in front with 1:18 left. And Schwartz will go to the line for 2.
Yeah, Manhattanville's going to be a tough team. I mean, they took Geneseo, who's number 22 in the country, to a 65-62 game. So it's going to be a great battle there.
Sounded like a lane violation. Well, that's what I heard from the public address. Again, how much of a difference it makes in a 48-point game, couldn't tell you. Shot no good from Smith, as she is a little slow to get up on the play. But she is able to eventually move. They blow the play dead. And behind the play, there is another player down. That is Denty. Denty's reaching for, looks like, that left leg. And this is very difficult to see. With under a minute left in a 48-point game. I mean, this is especially difficult to see. As they'll have the athletic training staff come out for Yeshiva. And she's back up under her feet at the very least. That's a good sign. And she'll walk off on her own power, not able to put a ton of pressure on that left leg. Looks like she was reaching for that lower left leg. Most notably, not sure who is here on the training staff tonight for Yeshiva. There's not a player or a person that's specifically listed, although my best guess would be that is Xavier Alzate. 80-32, Brooklyn in front. Yeshiva will inbound again alongside Scott Green. I'm Chris Russo. First game of our doubleheader. Brooklyn men will play host to New Paltz next. Shot no good. Is there anything you would change from Brooklyn tonight?
No, I don't think you can when you're 80-32. I think they executed all their sets tonight. They gave themselves a lot of opportunity. Their bench was just tremendous. I mean, everyone that this was a full team effort.
Now a 50-point lead for the Bulldogs and a takeaway from Sagna trying to push ahead. Sagna, who has not scored her first NCAA bucket yet. Freshman from Brooklyn, and now pushing the floor is Williams. Shot clock off, and Brooklyn will hold on to this one. Coming off a big win at Sarah Lawrence, a 50-point victory over Yeshiva, and they're 2-0.
And just a great start of the season, for Brooklyn, and, in easy fashion. The schedule gets a little tougher, but this is the way that you want to win, early on in the non-league.
Very difficult, as you just said, to find a flaw tonight from Brooklyn College. We are hoping to have an interview with one of the Bulldogs players in just a moment. Bulldogs will take on Manhattanville Friday night, 7 p.m. up in Purchase. Well, that's part of it as well. That's another one that is outside the city, but really not that far away whatsoever. And their next home game will be against Keene on Tuesday. Right now it's scheduled for a 7:15 start for the men's team as they take on New Paltz. We will see as to how rigid that timing is. We see 38 minutes up on the board, and I think they're going to let that one go. As for Brooklyn, I'd say tonight looks like Anna Kitch is going to be coming up to see us in a moment. Not sure when. Kitch on the night, 10 points, 14 boards, 3 assists, 1 steal. Did commit 5 turnovers, maybe something that she will feel a little pressure about, but a great start. And on top of that, she is going to get to see her brother, Andrew, play here in the second half of our doubleheader against New Paltz tonight. Andrew, who made his home debut against Worcester State on Sunday. I mean, going to Manhattanville, Scott, you said that's going to be a very difficult matchup. I mean, how would you categorize that? What would you say the keys are for Brooklyn going into that one?
Well, I think you're going to see a team that is going to be able to play to Brooklyn's tempo. They're a team that has a lot of good shooters. They can knock down the shots. I think they're going to be a very talented ball club. But if Brooklyn can defend the way they do and be able to turn those defensive points into offensive break points, they're pretty strong to come out on top. But this Manhattanville team is not a team you can just show up to.
It seemed like all night long they worked well in transition, as Anna Kitch is here with us. Yeah, so we've got Anna with us. We're going to get the headset on her. Then we'll clean it off afterwards. Got to be a difficult evening. Anna, 10 points, 14 boards, 3 assists, and a steal tonight. What were your takeaways from this game? What were your takeaways from your performance?
First of all, just happy to be back in the gym at home with the fans. The crowd was amazing. Just being back here was really, really special. It was good to be back. We've been working really, really hard for it. Honestly, this was a team effort. We had one goal, and that was to keep them to as little points possible, put the pressure on them on defense. That's kind of been our emphasis in practice. And I think we did really, really well. Everyone kind of shared the wealth. It was all across the board. And I'm just really, really proud of everyone. We've been working really, really hard. It
seems like you guys were also very versatile. You worked well in transition, and you worked well in terms of in-zone offense. How do you think you guys stayed so strong and fast at the very same time.
Staying together. I mean, our goal this season was to be as versatile as possible. I think we have a huge bench. We have everyone from start to finish can do everything pretty much. And it's just about putting those pieces together and making sure everyone's ready and prepared mentally and physically to just go out there and do it all together as one, together as a family. No one's going to be able to stop us if we can all do that.
You guys are so deep, when you talk about a bench and nothing ever comes up, where, okay, number 9, 10, I always say you guys have like 10, 11 starters that could start on any given night and not miss a beat. Talk about what practices are like and how you guys can get out after it and be able to replicate the opposing team in preparation.
It's all about competitiveness. I mean, we all, from start to finish, we all put the pressure on ourselves, and that's where it starts. It starts in practice. It starts, we all come in ready to work. We got 2 hours, and we know that we got to get stuff done. We got limited time, but we make the most of it. And we're all just here pushing each other. We all want to learn. This is just such a fun team because we're all just here. We're coachable. We want to learn. We want to get better, and we all know what the goal is, and we're just going to do whatever it takes to make that happen.
We're sorry to squeeze in with you, by the way. We're still trying to figure out the camera setup.
That's okay.
So far, what's it going to be like for the first time here to be playing here and then to see Andrew play? Not to mention, not only play against New Paltz of all teams.
So you knew that's where I transferred.
I found out today, yes.
You know what? I don't care about New Paltz. I'm very happy for my brother. I will say this is a very special moment for me and my whole family. I'm just so happy for him. He's worked so hard too, and he's been through ups and downs as anyone has in basketball in their careers. And he just loves this team, and he's getting better already. And I'm just excited to see what he can do out there. I have full faith that he's going to have a great career and a great season. And it's just really, really special to have him there.
Okay.
How does this team now turn around in the next 48 hours and go up to Purchase and play a very tough Manhattanville ball club?
Oh, we're ready. We're always prepared. We're coming in tomorrow. We're ready to go. We're already thinking about the next game. There's no let up. There's no time to rest. We already know we're coming in tomorrow. We know what the game plan is. We know what the practice plan is. We're just going to go and compete and make each other better and just be ready to listen and learn everything we can.
Congratulations on a great start of the season.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
Anna, thanks for your time. Enjoy being a spectator for the next one.
I will.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
All right, well, that is going to do it for us for Game 1 here from Brooklyn College. Or correction, we've actually got Megan Campbell with us. My apologies, and we're going to... No, if she wants to come in, that's totally up to her.
Thank you.
Coach Campbell, appreciate you.
Thanks.
Sorry that this is our meeting, but I'm Chris Russo. 82-32
Scott Green,
finish.
how are you?
And we're going to be tight with you just because it's we're trying to figure out the setup as well. So we apologize. Where do you think everything went right tonight? It seems like you guys played very well in transition. You played very well forcing Yeshiva into the corners. How are you guys doing a really good job of playing strength, size, stability, playing that versatile game?
Yeah, I mean, we put a lot of pressure on them, not on the offensive end, but on the defensive end. I thought we came out with a lot of defensive intensity. We had it most of the game. I think we fell off a little bit in the second half. I would have liked to see us, finish out the game strong. A couple mental lapses here and there, but, we got to clean it up. But it's an exciting team to coach, though.
And you have so much depth. So when you're on the bench, and I know I've coached for 30 years, and trying to get 8 players in the game was always a challenge. You're getting 13, 14 kids in there. What are practices like? And I asked her the same thing, where you can go after each other with the same intensity and be able to prepare game in and game out.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Practices get very competitive. We try to obviously incorporate competition through every drill that we do. We have maroon versus white winners for the day, and they take that personal. I think we want to get to the point where we have games like how we started the first half, full 40 minutes. And that's the way that we get everybody in the game. If we're bringing that level of intensity, you're going to need a sub at some point, and the game's fun for everybody when we're playing at that level. So. And
it's a great start to the year, and it's still only 2 games in, and you have a very tough CUNYAC schedule ahead of you, and a very tough game against Manhattanville in the next 48 hours. You've had some great teams over the last 5 years. I know I covered mostly all of the championships in those games. Where does this team, from top to bottom, stack up with the other 5?
It's hard to say. Obviously, I was only the head coach for a couple of years. Alex is head coach. We have a lot of talent. I think we need to be a little bit, have a little bit more mental toughness at times. The potential is there, though, to be a really good team. So it's exciting.
Good luck on Friday, Coach.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, it's Coach Megan Campbell. Thank her very much for her time. I'll gather that. Thank you very much. An 82-32 win for Brooklyn. That'll do it for us for now. Alongside Scott Green, I'm Chris Russo. Stick with us. We'll be back in just a little bit for the Brooklyn College men's matchup as they battle New Paltz as we get our props over here. We'll see you in just a moment here on Brooklyn College YouTube.